Good afternoon, Wasteland Wanderers. Today, I'm bringing you, in an effort for full disclosure, a heavily edited clip because the whole entire process takes about an hour. So, I wanted to cut out a lot of the more mundane parts, but also I included this piece that happened right before it because I'm a big advocate of the rogue robot missions to populate your settlements and to exceed settlement population caps. However, this is the worst scenario you can run into. If you notice, when I invited her to a settlement and I invite her, all she says is she hesitates a moment and says, "Ah, okay." Now, these NPCs do end up showing up at your settlements, but it's not a few days. At least so far, all have. I used to put summer shorts on them so they could be easily identified, or hazmat suits, and they all showed up so far. This is the first time I've had all three of those say, "Ah, okay." Usually, when it happens, you can only talk to one, and then after that, it'll just open the trade menu. This one, nobody wanted to be enthusiastic about going to Spectacle Island, so I decided to capture it, and I'll have to wait a few in-game days to see what happens with these folks. But anyway, I want to include it just so everyone is aware that sometimes this does happen when you try the rogue robot repopulate your settlements or overpopulate your settlements trick. So what this is really about is the XP boost on the Prydwen. Now, it's using the learning curve radient quest from Quinlan. And I understand there's a lot of videos out there about it. I'm not the first to discover it. However, I have not seen any videos that use this method. A lot of it involves risk with the Brotherhood of Steel, that if you get caught, you turn them hostile. Now, of course, you can quick save before each shot, and that can be used as a workaround. But I'm also showing here, I'm also killing undesirable settlers. These are settlers I sent to Boston Airport because they don't want to be assigned, or whenever they do get assigned, it causes the entire settlement to unassign, and you have to go through the whole process of reassigning settlers. I'm one of those people that I put a certain set of clothing on a certain merchant, on a certain work type, whether they're farming, so I know who's what. And it is a pain in the butt tracking them all down after everything unassigned. So if they do that to me once, I send them to Boston Airport, and there's a reason for that. I also farm Brotherhood of Steel power armor suits, and fusion cores, so that's why I'm also doing this. But anyway, so when they unassign, or when they won't be assigned, or they do that, I send them here, and there's two reasons for it. Boston Airport is unique in that you can go just outside the settlement, and it's got a nice multi-level place they like to hang out. So usually, this is actually a bad example, but usually most of your settlers, if not all your settlers, will be up there sitting on the chairs, and you can easily pick them off and snipe them right outside the green borders if you go into workshop mode. And that's key. You have to be outside the settlement or they'll turn hostile on you. So while doing that, I thought, hey, let me try shooting these B.O.S. guys and see what happens. Well, so it turns out if you're far enough away and you're hidden, you can shoot B.O.S. without turning them hostile. They'll act like they didn't even realize somebody next to them died in most circumstances. But this guy up here on the flight deck of the Prydwen is the one that will always tend to see you when you're using the learning curve to boost your XP. So what I did was I developed a pattern to just clear out the whole outside part of Boston Airport and the Prydwen of BOS, so no one will see me, so that way you can run through the missions without any fear of them turning hostile. You don't have to constantly quick save. I'm on the PS4, so when I quick save, it takes a little bit of time. It's dependent on that particular moment in the game, but sometimes it takes a long time. So I'm just going to run through. I was halfway to leveling up, so I'm just running through the motion of activating learning curve. And then I'm going to run out here and start doing it in earnest. And then in a little bit show the results of that activity. So I'm going to start speeding up here at about 8x times 4x, because this actually was so many different clips. In SHAREfactory, you have a certain clip limit, and I exceeded it multiple times, so I had to keep rendering a new movie and then breaking it down. But a neat little thing I learned something every day, is you can speed it up, render the movie, and then go back and speed it up even further. So hopefully you see that to some extent, because this, like I said, this video, all things considered, with the prior Rogue Robot mission, was about 63, 67, or 64 rather, minutes long. And yeah, wow, that really sped up. Might not want to speed it up quite that much. But anyway, as you can see, farming the BOS suits. This is one of numerous locations throughout the Commonwealth where you can do this. But usually it's 2 or 4. This is the odd place where you can get 3. You could actually get 4, but you'd have to be really tricky and steal the one on the upper deck inside the Boston Airport, and don't really need to do that. So while I sip my coffee, I'll let you watch me shoot innocent scribes that just wanted to gather information. Oh, well, I will mention, and it'll be coming up here hopefully pretty shortly. Of course, your environment changes while you're doing that, and if you get that hazy fog, you can just go in and sit down and wait it out. But I've noticed, depending on your perks, I have the perk where I get a little extra XP at night. So in that, it's about 6.3%, so it translates to 27 extra XP when doing these missions. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but if you're really doing this to level up, it is kind of important, because, you know, you think about it, you're going to do 40 or 50 missions for one single level when you hit the around the 200 mark. And so when you're doing that, you know, that's another 1,000 or 2,000 XP, so that shortens it by quite a few missions over the span of the entire process of leveling up one single level. So I waited here because it had gone hazy on me. I don't know what happened to that clip. It got lost in the shuffle somewhere. I must have deleted it. No big deal, but you've been there where you're trying to snipe and the whole background turns white and you can't see anything. That's what happened to me. So, as you can see now, it's night, and when I go in, I think I sped this part up too, but quick thumbs up because I got 426 XP instead of the 399. So I'm very close here to the end, and this is what it's all about. This is why you would do this exploit. Now, you're going to have to trust me on this. I haven't really used this exploit to level up, but I am at the end of my wits, tired because they added those new perks, and I almost was at the everything to have all perks. So here I level up, and then I'm satisfied, so I tell Quinlan I don't want it, but here's why you would use this, or instead of building a whole bunch of copper statues if you are going to exploit. So once you have all these perks enabled, and I'm still not done, I've got, I think, 13 more, you are a superhero. It's just incredible what you can do and how nothing can seem to harm you. So now I'm just going to finish cleaning up the rest of the settlers that are straggling around. You got to ring that bell. I definitely recommend putting a bell in all your settlements so you can ring it and get the settlers there. But here they hang out all through the Boston airport, so you have to ring that bell quite often. Oh, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show here in a minute. The other method, if they just refuse to get in your line of sight, what you can do is do this. Highlight, go into workshop mode, highlight them, PS1 or PS4, it's R1, and make them a provisioner. And what I do is I send them to the Mechanist layer, because if I somehow forget, I can easily track them down, because you only assign one provisioner from one settlement to another. And so Mechanist layer, I can always find them, but they always walk the same pattern. Once they come out of the settlement, you can shoot them. It doesn't make anybody else hostile. And you can just clean up and zero out your Boston airport population. So that's what I did here, just to clean up the stragglers. But back to your perks, it makes you a virtual superhero. You can do anything, and it's so much better than making a bunch of statues, wasting resources that are hard-earned, or spending hours and hours and hours glitching to produce those resources, then having all the copper statues you've got to pick back up. If you're going to do that, make adhesive. Plant the 3 crop types, manufacture purified water, and make adhesive. You're going to use that anyway. But anyway, the video is going to end here really quick. And I just wanted to say, doing the Rogue Robot missions, you can spend the same amount of time and level about the same as you would doing this glitch. This is a little faster, but not much. So as always, enjoy your travels in the wasteland. Happy gaming, and thanks for watching.